Caitlin Hillary from U-Maine's Food Pilot Plant. That sounds like a fun place.
It is kind of my dream job to work. I just get to play with food and taste food all day, and I get paid for it, which is crazy.
Which is, yeah, that sounds like a pretty great gig. And you were also a U-Maine master's grad, and your degree is in food science. So this is very much in your wheelhouse.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, so what we're talking about today, it's the holidays, but you know, cookie baking is a year-round endeavor, that is for sure. Specifically, baking cookies with local grains. So let's talk about the types of grains that are available in Maine that happen to be good for cookie baking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I joined the Maine Grain Alliance a couple years ago, and the one thing I didn't realize about Maine was how many different types of grains can be grown in Maine. Just over 10, which I thought was insane.
Yeah.
But I've been a long-time baker, and some grains that I've found really useful in cookie baking are spelt, which is like wheat flour, but it's got kind of this really nice sweet nutty flavor. I like to use that one-to-one with my all-purpose flour, and it just gives the cookies this really like delicious nutty sort of flavor.
Okay.
I also love using rye, especially in combination with chocolate. So rye by itself does not taste like a seeded rye bread that you get. A lot of that flavor comes from the caraway seeds.
Okay.
But it does have a kind of like savory dark note that plays really, really well with the depth and sweetness of dark chocolate especially. So I have a couple chocolate rye cookies in here, and of course everybody loves wheat and buckwheat, which is grown a lot up in Aroostook County.
Okay, and the benefits of using grains from Maine, obviously, you know, when you can patronize Maine businesses, Maine growers, that's a good thing. But looking beyond that, the benefits to using local grains.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that comes to my mind is that Maine Grains, which is the mill in Skowhegan that mills all of these amazing grains into flours that we can then use in our baking, they put the date that all of these grains were milled right on their bag, and I have used flour that was literally milled the day before I baked with it. So these grains are incredibly fresh, and that comes through all the way in the flavor of these cookies.
I was gonna say, that's got to make a difference with how things taste.
It really does. I did not realize that wheat had a flavor until I tasted Maine Grains wheat.
Okay.
It was like really revolutionary.
And so how do we integrate these into our recipes that you talked about, kind of using a one-to-one with some of the grains that you use? So how do we infuse these? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there are a few resources that I use when I'm trying to incorporate more local kind of unique alternative grains into my baking. The Maine Grains website has a lot of amazing recipes from all over the world and people who are in our network. The Maine Grain Alliance website also, which is a separate thing, but really talks about enriching and revitalizing Maine's local grain economy. And King Arthur Baking, their website, which has been just like the love of my life for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different recipes using alternative grains as well.
All right, so if folks are looking to kind of shake things up a little bit in the kitchen during your holiday cookie baking, this seems like a good avenue to pursue.
Certainly.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us with some very timely, useful information. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty, we'll be back with our extended forecast.